Hello everybody. In this video I will share with you about my understanding and my story about DevOps that I use for my projects. The content of the video will include, first of all, I will share with you about an overview about the definition of DevOps, and we go through the key factors when we implement the DevOps process. And finally, we see the conclusion about the DevOps. I also share with you about my story that we got a big trouble when we did not implement the DevOps, and another story that the DevOps bring the value to the team. Okay. Now, DevOps stands for development and operation. This is DevOps. It was the abbreviation for development and operations. In the traditional software development, we have the development team. This team will take responsibility to build the feature of the product, and then they send the packages to the operation team. The operation team is the team will maintain the system, will maintain to make sure that the system run and uptime 99%. If the system run well, it's okay. But most of the time, when the operation team run the system and it's down, it's crashed, it takes a lot of time to perform an action such as send email to the end user. It requires the operation team to debug and find out the root causes and send that information to the development team to fix it. And we see that the operation team, they did not understand well about the software. With the complex software, there will be a lot of the configuration that's hard to understand by the operation team. And the business rule and how to handle the logic, they are strengths with the operation team. And at that time, the development team, they make that software, they build that configuration, and they understand that very well. So it will be faster with less cost, with the higher quality, if the development team can support the operation team to find out the root causes and fix it. That is the mindset of DevOps. So in DevOps, it requires that the development team and operation team, they work together. And when they work together, it will improve and make sure that they are on the same page about the problem, about an overview about the system, and they need to remove the barrier between them. So when the system down, it's not a problem for operation team or development team. They need to work together to check out why the system down, and they try to recover as soon as possible. So it means that they should share the responsibility. So the targets for DevOps, they and in the DevOps, the development team were not used to create the software, And the target for the operation team is not manage infrastructure or maintain the software or manage the hardware only. They need to work together for improving the satisfaction of the customer. That is the target for both development team and operation team. They have the same targets: improving satisfaction of the customer. So they need to work together, find out the root cause and solve it as soon as possible with the less cost and the high quality. Okay, so in another view, it means that from the view of development and the operation team that we are all succeed or fail together. Okay, now we move on. The next section is that some key factor in the DevOps when we implement the DevOps process. We need to aware on this. Okay, in the DevOps emphasize on communication, collaboration, iteration, automation, and measurement of cooperation between the software development and IT professional. I think this statement very clear for all of us. This will this reflect how to become the effective as a team, and then its member in the development team or the operation team, they try to adjust the behavior and try to make the team work and improve the productivity of the team. Yeah. Okay. And the next is that the automation. DevOps rely heavily on the automation. In the software development, we have many repeatedly action, such as when we complete the task, we build the product, and we deploy the artifacts to the test server. When the testing completes, we deploy the, the from the testing server to the UAT. With this action, we do it in every time we complete the task. We want to release the new version to the customer, we do the same task. So with this action, we can do it automatically. We can implement and use some other software and make it automatically. And so we can the improve the productivity and reduce the time we need to repair the release before sending to a customer. And also that with the human, when we do it, we can make a mistake. In this time, I can work it very carefully. Yes, we don't have the mistake, but the next time, the tomorrow or the next one, I get bored with my personal stuff, and I cannot concentrate on my work, and I configure the production configuration and make a mistake all the time. Yeah, when we deploy to the production, it does not work. Take a lot of time to investigate, and of course the server has a downtime. It's not good. We try to make it automatically and it's run every time we need. So the process will constantly run correctly if we have a good solution for it. Now the following session we Now the following session is that some of the key factor is important for the automation. We will see how to implement it. And the automation also help us can release the new feature to the market very quickly. And we can get the response from the markets and we do an improvement. Not with the traditional software, when we want to have more release version, we need to reduce the stability of the software. And now with the automation tool, we can release the new version of the software frequently with the stable version. This is a very good improvement. And now we go through to the continuous iteration. In the continuous iteration, it means that when developer make a change in the shortcuts, they make the change, they commit the change to the repository, the new change, they need to verify if this will break the current code or not. For example, when the developer they work on their task and they commit the new code, the system will run the CI testing. In the CI testing, it will the build server will get the latest code from the short control, and they integrate with the new code, and they run it, and they check if the shortcuts buildable or not. Please aware that on the continuous iteration, we usually aware on the code is buildable or not. It's normally look like that. If the code run well, we approve the commit. Otherwise, we will reject, and the developer will verify it again before they do the next commit. Yeah. Another concept is continuous delivery. Continuous deliveries mean that whenever we have the change, the system will verify it automatically, and it will run a lot type of unit tests such as function tests, UI tests, application tests, integration tests, blah, and so on. This will make sure that all the criteria of the application passes. And then we create the deployment packages. So when we need to deploy, we just pick up that package and deploy it to the server. Yes, sir. That is the continuous delivery. And we have another concept is the continuous deployment. With the continuous deployment, it works the same as the continuous delivery, but it will auto deploy to the production when all the test case pass. It will deploy automatically. And so it means that we can have many deployments to production as possible. The system do it automatically, and usually it require a lot of the unit tests. Is one to make sure that the functions work and all the critical case have the unit test. So when it pass on the unit test, we can we can we can guarantee that the app work well. Yeah. As I understand that Flick, that is the website sharing the photo, is applied the continuous deployment. So one day it can deploy, it can release 10 times to the production. Yes. So it can release a small feature, the new feature every 2 days or 3 days, and so on. Okay. Frequently we have the release to the market. We can get the feedback from the market very soon, and we improve it. Okay, we go to the continuous monitoring. This means that whenever we deploy and we test the application, we need to keep track of the issue. This will help us figure out the problem or what make the response time increase, what made the server down. So in the future we can have the plan preventing the problem occur. Okay. And for the continuous monitoring, we have the server monitoring. We will manage the, the state of the server. And application performance monitoring, we can manage the performance of the app. Yeah, we can search for more detail on the Google for this. And the last is that the continuous testing. With the traditional software development, we have a big release in every 6 months or 1 year, and that's considered not good. Why? We need to wait until 1 year we can have the new feature to the client and get a feedback. And the next 1 year we can show to them what we have fixed and they give us another feedback. So the round trip between development team and the customer team and I'm sorry, the round trip between the round trip between development team and the customer is actually long. So less feedback we get from the customer. So separate we try to divide the big feature into the small one, and we try to create the release to the customer as soon as possible. We try to implement the feature and we testing, we release to the customer, we get the feedback, and we testing, we release, we get the feedback, we implement, and we testing, we release, we get the feedback. The more frequently we release, the more feedback we will get, and the more issue we can solve, and the higher quality it will be. And the applications can adapt with the change of the market. Let's imagine that you design the application and you develop it in 1 or 2 years and you release it to the market. At that time, your application became out of date, and you need to rebuild it again. And 1 year later, you release it, and you found that your application out of date again. You spend a lot of time, a lot of money to build your product, and every time you release, you found that the mindset of the customer and what they need, it's changing. So we try to, so it's better to release a small feature and let the client use. We improve it. Okay, by release the small feature, we can get the feedback faster and improve the application faster. Okay. And in the conclusion, DevOps. It's just a new mindset, new tool, and new skill. The new mindset that from now, the development team and the operation team, they need to work together. They need to work together. Development team were not used to create the software. The targets of the operation team not maintain the system. They need to work together, improving satisfaction of the customer. That is the target for development team and operations team. The new tool. We use automation. We use a lot of the automation. So they need to use tools to manage the health of the system. We need better feedback from the customer. We manage the issue. Of course, we learn new skill from that. This is I just like share with you about what I just share with you about what I understand about DevOps. And now I will share you about my story. This is a valuable story I learned from 2 years ago. We have the customer. They want us migrate their Windows application to the web application. And at the first time, everything went well. And 1 year later, we have the first release to the customer. The team worked well and worked very hard. And the first release is okay. It's made the client happy. And some release after that. You know that we have a lot of the feature implemented. So every time we have the new release after that, in the case client give us the feedback, and we will fix it. We make some change, some improvement, and we implement some new feature. We have a new release. We need to retest the old feature because currently we have the very big and important customer. Our client don't want to show the issue or the mistake to their client, so they inform us need to work very carefully on the release. And we spend 1 week for 2 testers to run the test case for the old feature every time we release. So it means that we spend 10 working days for retest the old feature, and then we take a little time after that for testing the new feature. And a lot of the case, the new feature only needs 2 or 3 working days for testing, but we take 10 days for retest the old feature. So a quick release to the customer seemed to be impossible at that time, and the cost for the new release is high. Our client became upset. After that, we have a new customer. They also want us build an application for them, and this time is also a big application also. They starting with an internal application. This is an MVC. After a few months, we start with them. They expand to the customer side. This will support the customer be able to log in and use some feature. That's another side we create is that the support side. When the customer got a problem, they can create tickets on the support side and we support them. And we also create the version for the mobile, that is the Android and iOS. And for those applications, they communication to the web API to perform the business logic. And totally we have around 5 or and more application. And with this process, we apply the DevOps process. We define that we define the four environment is project we have. For example, with the web API, when we implement the new feature, the developer will create a new branch on the Git on the repository. Icon that is the feature branch, and they will implement there. When they commit the code, we will run the CI build. In this CI build, we will check the shortcuts. If the new shortcut will break the current code, if the shortcut is still buildable, and when the developer finishes their feature test, they will merge their task from the feature branch into developer branch. Developer branch that will contain the shortcuts from all developers in the team, and that shortcut is available to build to the UAT or development at any time. So when the developer completes their task, they need to merge from the feature rank into developer. And after that, the system will build the latest version of developer rank into developed environment. This environment is on our company. It is the local in our company. And the developer they need to verify their feature there again. This just makes sure that the shortcuts go to developer rank correctly, because there are some conflict when they merge the branch. Maybe they resolve it incorrectly. This will lose the cost of other member. So they need to go to the develop environment, recheck it again. And of course, before we deploy the shortcuts to developer branch, we run the unit test for the shortcuts. We verify the business flow. We make sure that the criteria, the business flow for the app match. And when developer verify themselves on the developed environment successfully, they will go to the UAT and deploy the change to the UAT. They can recheck it there quickly because it already worked on developer and the UAT still work. Okay, at that time, developer can close their task and start a new task. And you see that the build process and run the unit test is the system do automatically. If someone broken the rules, the unit test will fail, and there is an email will send to the whole team. So the person broke the rules will fix it. If that person not work, another person will support. So we can fix it very quickly. And with the we apply from with the two quick string, we can have many UAT deployment. This can be 10 or 50, and its time is run quickly. We just go to the build site and click on the UAT site and build. The system will check out the shortcuts, will run will build the shortcuts, will run the unit test and create the build artifact for us. Now we want to release the new version to the customer. We pick up the version and deploy to the production. We go to the build site again and select the production environment and build. The system will do everything for us. With the previous process on the release time, the whole team work in a stressful mode and they try to stay in the company lane. They try to work, they try to run the test case, they try to fix a lot of bugs. But now the system help us to figure out the mistake, to help us to do some repeatedly tasks and notify us when we have a mistake and we've broken the rules. And now our tester they go to the develop side or they go to the UAT environment and production environment after they build to recheck it to have a quick look. That's all. And now we release the production, we can go and click on the build production and the whole team go out for a coffee and come back in 15 or 20 minutes and recheck the production environment. It's still is uh, now the release is not something stressful as before. This is the value that DevOps bring to the team and increase the productivity of the team. It makes sure that we can deploy much as possible and make sure that the quality of the application still good. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what I want to share to all of you about DevOps and what I apply in my projects. Okay. If you have any question, please write down your comment. I will try to answer you when I have a free time.